Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. What am I going to share is about history, the American legacy in the Philippines. After more than 4 decades of colonial rule, the United States of America left a lasting legacy on the life of the Filipinos. Throughout the period of colonization, the American colonizers effectively changed the political, economic, social, and cultural landscape of the country. Education for Filipinos. America's most important legacy in the country was the system of education. As part of the colonial policy during the occupation period, education was aggressively promoted. As early as 1898, 7 American schools had been established in Manila. Enrollment of children in public schools was also made compulsory from 1899 to 1900. More than 100,000 Filipino children were enrolled in different public schools in the country. The first public school teachers in the Philippines were called Thomasites because they arrived in the country on board the ship SS Thomas. After a few years of instituting education in the Philippines, the Americans started sending deserving students to the United States for further study. These Filipino scholars were called pensionados. They composed an elite group of Filipinos who were trained to become the future teachers and civil servants in the Philippines. Improvement in public health. The Americans also implemented public health and welfare programs. They established the quarantine service, which helped prevent the spread of diseases and epidemics from other countries. In 1901, the Board of Public Health was established to further improve the public health system in the Philippines. It educated the Filipinos on modern medical findings and practices, which eventually changed their superstitious belief regarding health and diseases. The direct result of the emphasis on the public health initiated by the Americans was significant. Before the American occupation, the average height of the Filipinos was between 5'2" and 5'4". When the Americans introduced their diet and modern medicine, this average increased from 5'4" to 5'6". More importantly, the mortality rate among infants was also reduced. Improvement in transportation and communication. The introduction of the modern transportation was an important step towards the country's economic development. The old means of transportation like calesas, carretelas, and bangkas were replaced by cars, trucks, trains, boats, and airplanes. This resulted in faster transport of people and distribution of products from one place to another. Consequently, new roads, bridges, and ports were built all over the country. Road mileage increased more than tenfold, while the number of bridges rose from 2,600 in 1898 to 8,100 in 1935. In 1905, the Americans started installing telephone lines in the country. In 1933, the radio telephone service was introduced, making public administrations more efficient as towns and provincial capitals were linked through telephones. Filipinos were taught English. The teaching of the English language to Filipino was another significant American policy in the Philippines. With English as the medium instruction in schools, and the Americans introduced new knowledge about science, math, and technology. Eventually, the use of the English language established the Filipinos to easily assimilate American culture. They started giving their children American names like John, Peter, and Mary instead of the Spanish names Juan, Pedro, and Maria. According to historian Teodora Agoncillo, however, the introduction of the English language has resulted in the partial loss of the Filipino native heritage. Did you know that the coming of the Americans ushered in the introduction of a new religion called Protestantism? On September 6, 1899, Christian Bibles were first distributed in Manila. Soon after, religious sects came to the country and introduced their faith to the natives. Among these were the Baptist Church in 1900, United Brethren and Disciples Christ in 1901, Congregationalists in 1902, Seventh-day Adventists in 1905, and Methodist Episcopalians in 1908. Unlike the Spaniards, the Americans did not force the Filipinos to embrace any of the new religions. They promoted the right and freedom to choose any religion. In fact, indigenous religion also grew during the period. One example was the establishment of the Iglesia Filipino Independiente or IFI on the Aglipayan Church. It was established on August 3, 1902 by the members of the First Federation of Labor Unions, the Union Obrera Democrática or UOD, headed by Don Isabel de los Reyes. Father Gregorio Aglipay was nominated as the Supreme Bishop of this new church. Even with the arrival of the new religions, Catholicism still remained the religion of the majority of the Filipinos. So that's all about the history that I can share. I hope you learn about it. So thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates and more videos. Thank you.